Hey guys, today we're going to go over our anchor text, our news article for Danger This Mission to Mars Could Bore You to Death. So we're going to follow along and we're going to annotate the story. Now, this is a news article again, and it's by Maggie Coerth Baker. So I put informational because it is a news article. And then the premise of the story space travel demands that people perform at their best, which is a benefit that she discusses. And then people might face the challenge of chronic boredom, which is a drawback that we have to space travel. So remember, as we're reading our nonfiction articles and our science fiction stories throughout this unit, your goal is to make sure that you are looking for both drawbacks and positives or benefits. So, pros and cons, positive and negatives, or benefits and drawbacks. Any words that you want to use that show you you're looking for something good that supports your idea or something bad that's the opposite. So, let's look. We have shows this boredom on long voyages is not a new development. So that was our big idea in our background. We start with the South Pole expedition of Ernest Shackleton. And so that is going to show that the development of boredom on long voyages or expeditions has not been a current thing. It's been going on for hundreds of years. So, introduction. We have nearly windowless, white geodesic dome, slopes of Hawaii's Mauna Loa volcano, tiny rooms, no more than 8 minutes of shower time a week, subsist on a diet of freeze-dried, canned, or preserved food. All of those are important details in our introduction because they give the description of harsh conditions for training and their background for the readers on what these astronauts are enduring. Then we're going to move on to page 154. For this one, we're going to start with our body paragraphs. Now, paragraph 2 is important because it shows how cumbersome or precise planning needs to be to get to Mars. So it's a very, very intricate planning process to be able to get to Mars. Then we have paragraph 3. Paragraph 3, I highlighted the entire paragraph because it's pretty important. It states the author's purpose. We also have 3 transition words that I highlighted or underlined, which were in fact, so, and but. In fact is important because it puts emphasis on the idea that the author is providing for you. So is called a cause and effect transition word. So it's showing the cause and the effect. And then but is important because it's a contradictory shift in the author's purpose or point. Sorry, guys. Then we have paragraph 4. Paragraph 4, notice we have our topic sentence. Most living things can constantly seek out sensory stimulation. So this is our topic sentence or what our entire paragraph is about in paragraph 4. Then our author provides us with 3 different supporting details. Single-celled amoebas and how they have to look for sensory for stimulation. Animals deprived of naturalistic environments and their stimulation and what occurs, and then manically pacing tigers, bears gnawing on their metal cages, and so forth. So all of those are important. Paragraph 4 is also important because it's the writer uses sensory details to show even the most basic creatures like amoebas need sensory stimulation or simulation. And then we have that is also important because the details support the topic sentence by showing humans are not the only living things affected by boredom. Then I underlined at the bottom of paragraph 5, a mind desperate for something to amuse it searches frantically for stimulus. So that's super important because that's again going to back up what our author is saying, that if we're bored, our brain starts searching for something to do. Now, we also need to know that a lack of stimulation can affect the mind's normal functioning, and that's covered in paragraph 6, and that long-term boredom equals depression. So if you're bored for a long period of time or experience extensive boredom, you're going to become depressed, according to the article. All right, so on 155, we're continuing on with some more body paragraphs. And then I have that the author includes the facts to emphasize the seriousness of the problem. So here we go. In paragraph number 7, our author is including different facts to show us the seriousness of the problem of boredom. Then we have details about problems with boredom, again in paragraph 7. So we have 2 years of training. They compete against thousands of other applicants. The astronauts are rigorously tested for psychological as well as physical fitness. Now, these are important because they help you see who can mentally deal with long trips. So it's important that astronauts are tested for these things because we want to know who has the mental strength to go on this mission. Then the very last line, long journeys through nothingness. This conveys the challenge of traveling to Mars. So that long journey through nothingness is super important because it's going to convey why their challenging to Mars is so difficult. Then we have back to paragraph 7, the rigors of astronaut training. So remember, that shows how rigorous the training is for all those astronauts. Sorry, guys. Then in paragraph 8, we have supports and strengthens the author's explanation. So paragraph 8 is there because it's going to strengthen the author's ideas or explanation about what's going on and with boredom and why it's so important that astronauts are trained properly. Then we go to paragraph 9. We're going to have proof or examples, the effects of extreme boredom. In paragraphs 9 and 10, we have more examples. Paragraph 11 is how to combat and train to combat extreme boredom. So paragraph 11 goes more into again, the rigorous training that they go through, as well as what training they're doing to fix that so that they can go on those missions. On page 156, we have several idioms: fend off, to look forward to, far-fetched, and racked up. So the first idiom, fend off, means to defend against. Then we have to look forward to, which means to be excited about or be eager to do. Far-fetched is our third one. It's unlikely to be true. And then racked up is our last one. And racked up in this instance means gained, achieved, or accumulated something. Then at the very bottom, we have our conclusion, our concluding paragraph. Remember, here our author is going to restate his or her purpose. And so we talk about the endeavor into a psychologically grueling one. It would be catastrophic if humanity's greatest voyage were brought low by the mind's tendency to wander when left to its own devices. All right, guys and gals. And so once we're done annotating, we're moving on to our comprehension check on 157. So on 157, we have why are 6 people living in a geodesic dome on the slopes of the volcano in Hawaii? Your answer is living as if they were on Mars and testing the effects of extreme boredom. Then 2 is with our current technology, how long will it take to get to Mars? It takes 8 months each way, so there and back is 8 months each. So to get to Mars, 8 months there, 8 months back. And then according to scientists, what is one of the biggest threats to the manned Mars mission? And that answer is boredom. Then question 4 says that you must write a summary. Remember, we always start with a tag sentence. That's title, author, genre, and then we state the theme or main idea in this case of our article. So I have, in the news article, danger, this mission to Mars could bore you to death. Maggie Coarth Baker explores the idea that space travel demands optimal performance, but can cause extreme boredom. Scientists are studying boredom because it is one of the biggest threats to a manned Mars mission, as well as to other long journeys through space. When most living things get bored, they look for sensory stimulation. Boredom is not well understood in people, but it seems the human brain is always active. People who get bored experience a form of stress, which could lead to mistakes and disaster for those living in space. Living in Antarctica is similar to living in space and helps astronauts learn to deal with extreme boredom. If we are going to successfully travel to distant planets, we must find ways to deal with boredom. All right, guys and gals, I hope this helps you. Remember to write this down. Make sure you have your summary done. Get all of this written in your notes because you can use whatever notes I put in here on your test. I hope you guys have a great day. Please let me know if you have any questions.